The Final Fantasy X speedrun is known primarily for its marathon length and heavy RNG manipulation, but also for its skips and sequence breaks. Despite sharing the same game engine though, the game's sequel, Final Fantasy X-2, hadn't seen skips nearly as impactful. The way most skips work in Final Fantasy X is that the runner will trigger text dialogue at the same time that Tidus is locked into an animation for a cutscene. Tidus obviously can't move during cutscenes, but when you clear the text, the game will now allow the player to move again, and the runner can proceed to the next screen. There are some other skips like the Mushroom Rock Road Push and the Sandragora skip too, and overall these skips save a bit over 20 minutes in the run. Final Fantasy X-2 has had Isaru skips since at least 2016, but it was always kind of a meme skip that you wouldn't really go for. In Chapter 1, when the party first travels back to Zanarkand, Yuna can trigger dialogue with one of the tourists as she hits the area where Isaru will call her over. The player can then proceed to the next screen during the dialogue, saving about 30 seconds of dialogue with Isaru. There are a few problems here though, starting with the fact that it's just really difficult. The spot you have to position Yuna in is very tough to find, and there are no known normalized setups to find the correct spot. For example, when doing the Gordo Salam skip in Final Fantasy X, I personally line up the edge of the door with the middle of Tidus' head, and then line up the tip of his shoe with this dark patch on the ground. However, in Zanarkand, there isn't really anything to use here, and every extra second you spend setting up the skip eats into potential time save, or makes the punishment greater in the event of a failed skip. This all changed though with the discovery of the second Isaru skip. Japanese runner Little Tonbi found that in the Yunalesca room where Isaru taunts the party, if you exit the room and re-enter, Riku will be closer to the area that triggers the cutscene. Close enough that dialogue with Riku can now be triggered at the same time that that cutscene is activated.
それね。これでさ、会話できるよね。無理か？はあ、マジ？ちょ。
This room also has significantly clearer things that the player can use to line up Yuna's position correctly. This skip saves about 2 minutes, and additionally, no combat is skipped, meaning that this requires no change to the route at all. For 100% runs, this skip can still be used, however the runner needs to wait for Isaru to say his dialogue line,
"My job. I bring excitement to those who've come to see this sacred place."
Otherwise they'll lose a percentage check. This is estimated to still be around 50 seconds of time save, however there's no formal timing done for 100% categories as of right now. On the same day this skip was discovered, Little Tombi himself was able to use both Isaru skips to secure the PC No Creature Creator world record with a time of 2 hours, 54 minutes and 33 seconds. And a few hours later, Karakan was able to achieve one of his goal times in the Japanese PS2 category, breaking the 3:15 barrier and improving his world record to 3 hours, 14 minutes and 24 seconds. With the ease of use and high impact of this skip, it will certainly become a staple of the speedrun. With most cutscenes in Final Fantasy X-2 being able to be skipped as is, the game doesn't really have many good candidates for future skips, but there is some hope. Little Tombi appears to already be working on tackling the Moonflow segment in Chapter 4, which is pretty universally considered to be a bit of a low point in the run. It's about 7 minutes of just movement and cutscenes that can't be skipped, and there's no combat either. Theoretically, if there was some way to sequence break this, it could be another major breakthrough. I would really like to see this new Isaru skip become something of a floodgates opening, and I'm excited about the future of Final Fantasy X-2 speedrunning. I'm sure there's a lot of new personal bests on the way as a direct result of this skip. Thank you so much for watching. This one is a little bit shorter because I just wanted to do a quick update on this fantastic new discovery. If you do want to learn more about the skips that are used in Final Fantasy X, I have this video covering every one that's used in the speedrun. And if you want to learn more about the speedrun of Final Fantasy X-2, I have this video about the Japanese PS2 version's unique strategies. Thank you as well to the Patreon supporters. It's $2 a month and you get some bonus behind the scenes stuff and a vote on a monthly challenge speedrun. So if you'd like to very kindly support the show, that's a great way to do it. Or for a free way to support, subscribe and send this video to a friend. Thank you again and see you next time.